promise you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Please don't shoot. Please don't point that gun at us. I promise you whatever you want. I promise.
In 2016, tragedy struck the Sheats family, consisting of Christy and Jason Sheats and their two daughters, Taylor and Madison. Taylor Sheats, born in 1994, was known for her artistic talent and nurturing nature. She pursued her passion for teaching and became a full-time teacher at Kids Are Kids, a child daycare center and pre-K school in Katy, Texas. Taylor was also engaged to her high school sweetheart, Juan Lugo, and they were set to marry at the end of June 2016. However, just days before the wedding, Taylor's life came to a devastating end. Her younger sister, Madison, who greatly admired Taylor, was still in high school. The Sheats family lived in Katy, a small town outside Houston, Texas. Initially, Christy and Jason were a young, happy couple, deeply in love. They had moved to Katy to start a family and build a life together. Christy worked as a stylist, executive assistant, and receptionist, while Jason was an IT consultant for an oil and gas company. As time went on, however, their once joyful family life seemed to crumble. Neighbors began hearing frequent arguments and crying as Christy and Jason clashed over their parenting approaches. Christy believed in a more controlling style, fearing her daughters would lack direction without it, while Jason advocated for a more natural and self-guided development for the girls. Despite the marital turmoil, Christy projected a picture-perfect image of her family on social media. She would post pictures with her daughters, presenting a happy and loving facade. However, behind the scenes, Christy was battling her own demons. She had been diagnosed with depression and anxiety in the early 2010s, and the deaths of her grandfather and mother in 2012 worsened her mental health struggles. She turned to alcohol as an escape, leading to fits of anger and emotional turmoil. Over the years, the police were called to the Sheats home 14 times, often due to Christy's emotional outbursts and attempts at self-harm. Jason desperately tried to support his wife, seeking help from mental health professionals, but Christy felt unsatisfied with the treatment and continued to struggle. Ultimately, on that tragic day in 2016, the unthinkable happened. Christy shot and killed her two beloved daughters, Taylor and Madison, before taking her own life. The community was left devastated, as everyone who knew Christy had seen a loving and doting mother on social media, unaware of the deep emotional turmoil she was experiencing. In June 2016, Jason decided to end the marriage, feeling exhausted from repeatedly being the voice of reason and wanting to shield his daughters from the constant stress caused by Christy's behavior. Over the years, the family had called the police several times out of fear that Christy might harm herself, but she seemed uninterested in their help, relying on alcohol rather than prescribed medication. She avoided seeking assistance from doctors despite their pleas. A few weeks after the breakup on June 24, 2016, Jason's 45th birthday, a tragic incident unfolded. The emergency services received a distressing call, and the dispatcher immediately dispatched police to the Sheats home. A neighbor had witnessed something disturbing, Taylor and Madison crawling out of the house, leaving behind a trail of blood. Both had been shot in the back.
There's a lady with a gun.
There's a lady with a gun? Where?
Yes. It's coming out of the house right now.
Okay.
People shot outside.
Okay.
People shot outside.
Okay. Where's the lady with the gun?
It's on the street right now.
As the situation escalated, Christy stood atop Taylor, pointing a gun at her while she pleaded for her life. Christy attempted to pull the trigger, but her gun was empty, so she went inside to reload. When she returned, she shot Taylor again, and then ensured Madison's demise as well. The neighbor watched in horror as the girls lost their lives. Moments later, Christy was shot by a police officer after refusing to drop her weapon. It appeared she had planned the entire tragedy, intending to kill her daughters and manipulate the police into killing her, leaving her husband in despair. Detectives investigating the motive discovered a history of police calls to the family home due to Christy's threats of self-harm and frightening tantrums. The murder seemed premeditated, and the timing on Jason's birthday suggested she sought to punish him for their breakup. Further examination revealed additional tension in the family, as Christy argued with Taylor about her upcoming wedding to Juan. Jason disagreed with Christy's attempts to ground Taylor and prevent her from seeing her fiancé, causing more strain in their already troubled relationship. The tragic events left Jason shattered, and the police worked diligently to unravel the horrifying motive behind Christy's heinous act. It became apparent that her daughters may have become unfortunate pawns in her act of revenge against Jason. The turmoil within the family went deeper than what was visible on the surface, and the investigation aimed to piece together the disturbing puzzle of this devastating crime. On that fateful day, Jason was deeply upset as he confronted Christy about her behavior. He expressed his frustration, telling her that it would be the last birthday party she would ruin. Christy, not responding, stormed out of the room, leaving Jason somewhat relieved, hoping the argument had come to an end, at least for that day. However, unbeknownst to Jason, Christy was harboring a sinister plan to harm her children. Hours later, Christy called for a family meeting and gathered everyone in the living room. This was not the first time such a meeting had occurred, and the family expected Christy to talk about feeling misunderstood and making it all about herself, disregarding Jason's birthday and their daughter's upcoming wedding. But this time, it would be far worse than they could have imagined. In a shocking turn of events, Christy revealed a hidden .38 caliber revolver she had stashed behind the sofa cushion. Despite Jason's pleas to keep firearms away due to Christy's history with mental health and alcoholism, she had always insisted on having it within reach. Jason and the girls were unaware of what was unfolding. They believed Christy might attempt to harm herself again. When they pleaded with her not to, Christy made it clear that her intention was to punish them, not herself.
Give me a gun. Please don't shoot. Please. I'm sorry. No.
Hello?
Don't shoot my family. Please, I'm sorry. Get away. I want to do anything.
Hello?
Please don't point that gun at us. I'm so sorry. I promise you whatever you want.
As Christy began shooting at the girls, tragedy struck. Madison was hit in the neck as she tried to flee the house, while Taylor, running after her sister, was struck in the head. Remarkably, Taylor survived and nearly made it to safety, but Christy shot her again on the street.
Looks like both of them are alive. Both of the shot person, the
Okay.
two ladies, they're both alive, but
Okay.
you know, she tried to shoot again. She's trying to shoot again on the top of her, but apparently she don't have no more. Apparently she don't have any more bullets. She's coming back again with. Apparently she has bullets now on her.
Okay. Stay on the line.
Oh, she shot her again. She shot her
You
again.
shot her again?
Yes, from the back. She was trying to run.
Although Taylor had a weak pulse when paramedics airlifted her to the hospital, she tragically passed away within the hour. Madison, unfortunately, succumbed to her injuries at the scene. As the police arrived at the scene, they ordered Christy to drop her weapon, but instead of complying, she walked towards the officer, wanting her life to end then and there.
She's laying down on the floor now.
The female that was shooting is laying down?
Yes.
Did she shoot herself?
I don't know. I just see her down on the floor now, but I don't know what happened.
In a shocking twist, it was revealed that Christy was a passionate gun rights activist on Facebook, posting loving messages about her daughters while also criticizing Democrats and expressing the need to protect her family with her gun. During their investigation, the police learned that Jason and Christy had separated briefly, and he had considered taking his daughters and moving away while their divorce was underway. However, just a few days before the tragic incident, Jason gave their relationship one last chance before officially filing for divorce. Taylor's Facebook post from 2013 reflected the loving perception she held of her mother, describing her as intelligent, fun, strong, encouraging, amazing, and a blessing. Taylor and Madison had worked hard to keep their volatile mother content, developing motherly instincts and mature personalities in the process. They had taken on a parental role due to their mother's moody and overbearing nature, leading to emotional maturity at a young age. The devastating impact of Christy's actions left Jason burdened with a lifetime of grief and sorrow. The absence of a trial, sentencing, or any form of justice compounds the wounds left behind. Christy's actions were the ultimate punishment for Jason, but she herself escaped any consequences. Tragically, her daughters became mere pawns in her quest to inflict pain upon her husband.